Today we're going to be looking at the swamp stalkers and the coral elves. Namely, we're going to compare Born of the Swamp racial ability with Coastal Dodge racial ability because they're fundamentally the same. And so when either swamp stalkers or coral elves are at a terrain that contains green or water, like a swamp or a coastland, they get to count maneuvers as saves. Okay? But what does that look like? So we're going to go through the faces, kind of compare them as a whole, looking at the commons. Once again, these are trying to get the feel of each race as well. You know, what does each race do? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And I like to start with the commons, just kind of start from the ground up. I think that's an interesting take. So, let's begin. Let's start with the swamp stalkers. So here we have the sprayer. Oh, let me bring that in camera there. Sprayer, the missile class, common. So, let's count them up. So, 2 missiles. 1, 2, 3. Make sure I count them all. Yeah. 1, 2. So 4 missiles total. Missile symbols. 4. Then we have a shield, a save, sorry, and a melee. Save and a melee. Save and melee. Okay, and then of course the ID icon. So let's grab the Coral Elves Archer unit, missile unit. The Archer. Here we have once again 1, 2, 3, 4 missile faces, missile icons on faces. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a maneuver, 1, and then a melee, 1. Alright, from the get-go we kind of get a little idea. So as far as the missile unit is concerned, Born of the Swamp is not going to affect because it does not have a maneuver to change into a save. So, but it does have a save. So if they're away from the water, still able to do some saves. The Archer of the Coral Elves, great at a water element terrain, but without any sort of save if against. So, okay, let's keep going. This next one is the Bog Runner, the cavalry unit. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 maneuvers. Is that all? Trying to make sure I go through here. 3 maneuvers. 1, 2, 3. A melee and 2 saves. Melee and 2 saves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that should be it. Okay. Set off to the side. Now the cavalry. I believe this is the knight or the horseman. Anyway, he has horseshoes there for good luck, huh? So 1, just 3 maneuver. 1, 2, 3. And missile, 2 melee and a missile. 2 melee and a missile. Okay. Alright, so let's keep going. So obviously the swamp stalkers definitely have more natural saves on them, not as dependent on coastal dodge so far as the coral elves would be, and not as beneficial as much because so far there are only 3. Okay, let's keep going. So here, what's this guy called? The Ravager. He's the heavy melee unit. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 heavy or 4 melee icons. 1, 2, 3, 4. and then 2 save icons. 1, 2. Okay. What about the Coral Elves? Okay, we have 4 melee icons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a maneuver and a missile. Missile and maneuver. Okay. Let's keep going. To this is the light melee. It's called the Attacker. It may have changed its name in recent sets, but it used to be called the Attacker. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 melee. 1, 2, 3. A save, a maneuver, and save, maneuver, and missile. So save, maneuver, and missile. Okay. All right, the light Coral Elf unit, maybe a sentry. I think it's called a sentry. Okay, so we have 2 melee, 2 missile right there. You can see that. 1, 2, and 2 maneuver. 1, 2. Okay. All right. Obviously, Coral Elves don't have any saves, right? They are dependent on that coastal dodge. Okay. Here we have the magic unit, the Bog Adept. And not too surprising, 1, 2, 3, 4 magic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save and a melee. Yeah. Save and a melee. Yeah, count that right. All right, and the Evoker, the Conjurer. Anyway, the magic unit of the Coral Elves. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty standard. A melee and a maneuver. Okay. So we can quickly see that Coral Elves very dependent on that coastal dodge, at least at the common level, right? No saves between all 5. Swamp Stalkers had pretty decent saves, not too much maneuver. So you see they're born of the swamp, though helpful, and I'm sure a lot of contacts with other units, but at this level, not as key. Okay, magic's the same. Coral Elves, not too surprisingly, have quite a bit more missile. Not too much, they're about even. And it looks like melee is even. So even on the melees, so it really looks like their maneuver, instead of maneuver, they have, in missile, they have more saves. All right, hopefully that gives you a little comparison as you explore the myriad ways that Dragon Dice can be played. Have a good day. Keep rolling.